Today we are making an Outback copycat recipe that you're going to go bananas for. We're making Alice Springs chicken. It's super popular and it's actually so easy to make at home. Hello, hello. My name is Carrie with eatingonadime.com. We're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget. Now, today's recipe, I'm going to show you everything you need to make it, but you can get nutritional information, you can pin it, you can save it, get everything you need to make this recipe right linked in the description below. You will also find our Copycat digital cookbook. We are obsessed with making copycat recipes because eating out at the restaurants is a little pricey, so let's make them at home. And you're going to be shocked how simple this recipe is, but if you love copycat recipes, then make sure you check out that digital cookbook as well. First things first, you need to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Then you're going to make a Dijon honey mustard sauce. Maybe if I said that right, I think so. We're going to start off with a half a cup of mayonnaise. You want to use real mayo, not Miracle Whip. Nothing that has all the extra stuff in it, just plain old mayonnaise. And we're going to put it in a medium-sized bowl. Then we have a 1/4 cup of Dijon mustard. I'm excited for this. And a 1/4 cup of honey. Little tip, if you actually spray your measuring cup first, it'll help for that honey to just literally fall right out and you won't have a big giant mess. Then add a tablespoon of white vinegar and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Make sure to scrape it all out. And then you're just going to mix until well combined. Now you can use a whisk, but I really think just a small spatula is doing great. But if you want to, you can whisk it together just to make sure you don't have any clumps. Like right now, we're getting some clumps. So I think I'm going to go ahead and switch real quick and kind of whisk it side to side just to help it be nice and creamy. Quick taste test. Oh, that is perfect. Then we're just going to set this aside and we're heading to the skillet. Now we're going to, action. Now you need an oven-safe skillet. I am using a cast iron, but a stainless steel one would work as well. Anything that would go great in the oven. And then we are going to throw in diced up 8 slices of bacon. I'm going to spread these out into a thin layer so we can get them nice and crispy. Now the trick with bacon is you want to just spread it out and let it sit. The more you move it, it's not going to get as crispy. So we just want to get it nice and spread out and then let the fire do its thing to heat it up. It's not hot yet, so I'm going to spread a couple of these that are stuck out. When you spread them out, you just get a little bit better crisp on them. I just turned off the heat and I wanted to show you what it looked like. Nice and crispy. And again, it's just letting it sit, and there is a lot of grease, but that's okay because we need that grease to cook our mushrooms and onions. But we're going to remove this and set it onto a plate lined with paper towels. Now I'm just going to scoop this up and put it on the lined paper plate, and the reason is we want to get that excess grease off, but we are using the grease in the pan, so we don't need to dump it all out because we want that delicious flavor throughout the entire chicken dish. You're going to need 1 medium onion, thinly sliced. Well, it doesn't have to be super thin. I just cut it in half, cut the ends off, and then sliced it, and you're going to want to separate each one of them. Take those sliced onions and place them into that bacon grease. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. Then we're going to saute these for about 5 to 6 minutes until they're soft and beginning to brown. It's been a few minutes. I just wanted to show you they're getting soft. So I'm probably going to let it cook for maybe, you can see how it came down and this pan was stuffed. So they're getting softer. I'm just going to let it do for maybe 2 more minutes. I want the mushrooms just a little bit softer. Okay, they look beautiful. I just wanted to show you up close. They are starting to brown. And so now we're going to remove these from the pan. We are going to remove all of these just onto a plate while we cook the chicken. I like to leave as much, if there's still bacon grease, leave that in the pan so that way we can cook that with the chicken. If there isn't enough bacon grease left over, then you can add a tablespoon of oil. But today I have plenty of bacon grease in here, so I think we're going to be perfect on to help with browning our chicken. Go ahead and heat that oil back up. Remember, you can add a little bit of oil if you need to. I don't think we're going to need it. Then we're going to place these chicken breasts directly on the pan. And we are doing 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts today. Then we're going to immediately season it with a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. So we're going to let this cook until you'll notice the edges are getting lighter, about 5 minutes, and until you have that beautiful crust on there. Now, once you flip it, the pan is pretty hot. So I like to turn the heat down once it's flipped because it's already really hot and we want to make sure we don't burn that other side. So I'm just turning it down to like medium, low, and we're going to let this cook for about 5 more minutes. Now the chicken is beautifully browned on both sides. So we're going to take that honey mustard sauce and put 2 tablespoons on top of each chicken. So it is going to be slathered, and you're going to love it. Now, it's okay that chicken is not completely cooked through, so don't worry about that. We're finishing this off in the oven. That's why we preheated the oven, and that's also why we're using a cast iron or an oven-safe dish. So we will check that later. And then we're going to top it with that mushroom and onions right on top of that chicken with that sauce. So everything is going to bake together. Ooh, I'm super pumped about this. And then we're going to top it with that crispy bacon. Then we're going to place it directly in the oven, and we're going to cook this for 10 to 15 minutes or until the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 165 degrees. So I've removed it from the oven. It is nice and hot. And then we're going to top it with 2 cups of Colby Jack cheese. Now, I know that if you have watched any of my videos, I'm a broken record about this, but I highly recommend that you hand shred your cheese anytime it's melted. Actually, I highly recommend that you always buy block cheese and shred it. It melts better, it tastes better, and it's cheaper for you. So I'm going to use this glass measuring cup just to get an approximate of 2 cups. It doesn't have to be exact because you're basically just smothering this with that cheese, and we're going to melt it right on top. So just a little bit more to go. We're going to sprinkle this. I say sprinkle it. We're going to dump it all over the cheese. And then we're going to pop this back in the oven for about 3 to 4 minutes until this cheese is nice and bubbly. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Look at her. Oh, nice and gooey and melted. Oh, I'm so excited to eat. Time for my favorite part. Oh, that pesky fly. Get out of here. Sorry. Look at it. Ooey, gooey, yummy. I'm just so excited. Woo. Friends, I think you're going to love it. I am not a big mushroom fan, but I think the mushrooms will be perfectly fine in this. But if you don't like mushrooms, you can leave that out. But remember that mushrooms were fried in that bacon grease. So they're taking on the flavor of the bacon. So you decide. You do you. Same with onions if you don't like onions. Okay, time for me to dig in. You guys know that this is my all-time favorite part. I got to make sure I get a little bit of everything in that bite. So good. Oh, Rosie, you want a bite too? She heard me say it was so good and wants a bite. And if you can't see, Rio's back there too. And you can't see Samson, but he's laying at my floor as well, waiting for me to drop a piece and praying that I drop a piece. Okay, friends, I'm out of here. A few things to note. The honey mustard sauce, you can also serve it with more honey mustard sauce, and you can also put more honey mustard sauce on this, like right after it's off or even before you bake it. We just say at least 2 tablespoons per chicken, but I'm a huge fan of the honey mustard sauce, so I probably would even want to put more. Like, it's so good. But you can serve it, and there is going to be leftovers of that honey mustard sauce. So you can also store it in an airtight container for up to like a week in your refrigerator. And it would be delicious on salads, sandwiches, anything, just because. So make sure you don't toss it and save that dressing. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Remember the full recipe linked in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've recently learned that most of you are not subscribers, which means you're missing out. So let's get subscribed. We can add that notification bell because I don't want you to miss any more of our family-friendly recipes because we've got, well, we always have good ones coming up, but we've got some really good ones coming up that I don't want you to miss. I'm out of here, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. And before our next video, make sure you're eating at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends.